Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about the Elder Scrolls Online, specifically High Island. Now I don't own it, I've just seen a few trailers. However, every single trailer for every single expansion is always some nondescript, provocateur, right, attacking the establishment and trying to overthrow it. They played no part in Elder Scrolls history before the Elder Scrolls Online. They'll probably play no part in it after the Elder Scrolls Online. Meanwhile, the law sites and all are trying to somehow work it into their Elder Scrolls sites. And I'm thinking that's a mistake. I'm thinking that's a mistake because I don't think the Elder Scrolls Online is going to leave any lasting mark on the Elder Scrolls. I might be wrong, but I don't think it will. I think the second they stop making it, most of that lore will disappear and they'll continue as if it didn't exist. Right now, when you play it through, you've got the original quests, which are all fairly heavy Elder Scrolls, but I barely recognise the scenes and the bad guys in it. And then you've got Morrowind, which still feels and still uses quite a lot of Elder Scrolls lore. They're the only two add-ons, and the main game and the add-ons that I felt had any resemblance whatsoever to the Elder Scrolls. And the Morrowind one, that was with a pinch of salt, right? Because there was quite a few exceptions in it. Now, High Island, it's got your nondescript, attacker overthrowing things, and the your Lord of the Realm or whatever, right, fighting back. Now, this is something I feel they needed to address because, quite frankly, every single one they've done has been the same. Just change the location, change the name, same enemy attacking the same establishment. It doesn't feel any different, and it's been like that now since Somerset Isle. Probably before that actually, but I haven't really played anything since Somerset. I've been buying them, but I haven't been playing them. Oh, I did. I played Skyrim as well, right? It says, and it's always been the same. And I keep reading the things. I think that just sounds the same. That sounds the same. I look at the reviews. That sounds the same. I look at the ratings. It's very mediocre, disappointing most of the time. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the Elder Scrolls. They need to be hiring people with better ideas than this. I mean, because quite frankly, it says the Elder Scrolls is a rich. I mean, I've never run out of ideas. I've always had something I could go with, and quite frankly, grinding quests, right, shouldn't be your main push. And then they usually are. I mean, there is loads of these go here, kill that, do this, do that nonsense quests, I call them, with no real meaning. That you've got no reason to do it other than to try and get to the next interesting thing. So it's a bit like an exercise in frustration. In fact, they should call it Frustration Episode 2. Oh wow, look at the dust storm outside my window. Sorry about that, but there's a building site outside and they stripped away all the topsoil, all the vegetation, and now it's dry and dusty. And the dust is ridiculous. It's getting on my chest, to be honest. Anyway, back to Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, Black Marsh, for instance, right? I've got Black Marsh, but I haven't played it yet. Black Marsh is where the castles that people try to build in Black Marsh have sank and disappeared or turned into ruins. Any sign of civilization disappears quickly. Only the villages, which I assume would be little huts on sticks, right, manage to survive, and Argonians obviously in their natural environment in that area. So basically, you've got an area that's kept in mystery. You never know where the path is going to take you or where you're going to go to. It says, oh, what's around the corner? I mean, one minute you could be walking into a village and not even know it. Next minute it could be some kind of crocodile. You wouldn't know, right? Until you turn that corner and suddenly, because it'd be a very dangerous place unless you knew how to survive there, which would be a whole new skill set, a whole new perk tree. And what have we got? We got a few primitive villages in forests. That's what we got. Primitive village in forests. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a missed opportunity, isn't it? And elsewhere and things like that, I haven't even looked at them yet. Quite frankly, I just feel I don't want to be playing the same game over and over again, and I feel like I am playing the same game over and over again, and the same missions, because they don't have any imagination. I mean, my favourite by far was Morrowind, right? Because it did have that link with Morrowind, although some of the towns that were quite small and recognisable compared to the ones I know from the Morrowind game. I mean, Vivic City, you get the idea anyway, don't you? And plus all the characters you can become or play, they got no resemblance to the Elder Scrolls either. So I think what happens is it was an MMO with the Elder Scrolls questline bolted on the side, and they've pretty much ignored the Elder Scrolls ever since. And all their main quests, you might just see it pop up once or twice. I think probably they're only allowed to actually mention the Elder Scrolls a couple of times. It would have been better if they'd been more hands-on and heavily influenced by the Elder Scrolls, but they haven't. So it's an interesting MMO. I quite enjoyed it for a while, but it is a bit hack and slashy and a bit repetitive. And what I'd like to see is a video that doesn't just say, like you're doing the High Isles, or High Isle, that doesn't just say, oh, we've got to defend our realm against all costs, this invasion, that whatever is certain name here is attacking and taking over, and we will defeat it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God. I mean, does it always have to be an invasion or a rebellion? I mean, why does it have to be? Why can't you just have a disease or maybe some witches coven starting to do something and you've got to get rid of it, or something smaller but with a more interesting plot line? Why does it have to be so somewhat epic and boring? Because you've done that before, you know. Anyway, it just seems to me they're stuck in a rut and have been now for a few expansions. That's about 3 or 4 years. And I really think they need to start thinking about hiring staff with better ideas. Because quite frankly, right, they're filling up the world with nonsense, and they need to do better. The only other expansion I would recommend that I kind of enjoyed was a bit samey, was the Orc one. I like the Orc one. That was a minor DLC. I'm not even sure you can get it now. I haven't seen it anywhere. Usually it was one of these ones you buy separate. Them kind of things should be part of the main quest. I mean, when they sell Skyrim in two parts, one part, in the main game, one part on the separate, I think that's a bit cheeky. Anyway, I don't agree with their DLC system in that game. I think they're making massive amounts of money, like £200 for a mansion. That's what it costs when you do their currency and use their currency to buy the DLC. £200 for a mansion. That's just a bit of pixel. It's like a horse armor DLC for 200, except for it's a house. I really don't agree with that at all. So I don't pay for them. I just played the game and ignored all that lot. I didn't do any grinding towards it either because I wasn't gonna make any justification for that kind of nonsense. And I still enjoyed it. The Thieves Guild area, the quest and the main thing, I found that a bit dull, right? I think the most interesting one I did was the Mages Guild. The Mages Guild was quite good. I liked that. So the overall, I mean, it's a good game when you're buying the standard game and you're playing through it. Other than that, I'd only really bother with Morrowind. I wouldn't touch anything else. I mean, it may feel like you're missing half the game because the map shows you're missing loads of parts. But to be honest, they're the only two parts worth playing, in my opinion. Everything else just didn't hit the spot. Completely missed opportunity, if you ask me. Because I could have made it hit the spot. I got plenty of ideas. You point me in the direction of something, I could have filled that world with ideas. But yeah, I just needed time to plan it all out. I would have made it work. And I've had bad guys unique to each area, not things that sound generically the same as the last one. Anyway, see you in the next one, and let me know what you think of Elder Scrolls Online, because there's quite a lot of people saying, is it worth playing in 2022? You probably already played it in 2020 and 2019. They've just changed the names. See you later, folks.